Well, hello, people. Here's a quick update on what's exactly happening on the world escalation as we understand as to what might happen and what can happen. So, let's understand quickly as to what's happening around the world. Now, the reason why I've kept this map is, of course, just so you may know as to what are the places that we are talking about, so you can see in the map. And of course, everybody is aware about what is exactly happening, right? Now, here's a few update, and I would be making this update every now and then. Just want to understand and let people know as well. Here's a war situation update uh, on the economic front as to how it's happening with the geopolitics. First, let's understand the escalation. The war in the Middle East has now entered into its second month, and the situation has escalated significantly. Now, this is going to be really very bad, probably, for the entire world, as we are looking at a different thing. Now, Yemen's Houthi, which is probably this is where Yemen is. Yemen's Houthi or Houthis rebels have officially entered the conflict, launching missiles attack on Israel. For the first time, this has happened. Now, this is certainly raising the fears that the Red Sea, uh, you know, has or Red Sea could become a new front in this war directly from Yemen to Israel. And there is Iran, of course, attacking Israel. And Israel, on the other hand, is also attacking now. So Israel now is into a trap between three parts of Lebanon, Yemen, and Iran, of course, in the first place. Now, here's a ground threat as well, which is coming on the line. That is, on the ground, US President Mr. Donald Trump stated yesterday that Iran has effectively undergone regime change, while the Pentagon is reportedly preparing plans for weeks of potential ground operations inside Iran, though no official deployment has been approved yet. Attacks are spreading across the region. Iran struck a power station in Kuwait, killing an Indian worker as well, and Israeli strikes hit a university in Isfahan and Qatari TV office in Tehran. In Lebanon, Israeli airstrikes have now killed over 1,200 people since the war began. Amid all this, Pakistan is attempting to broker talks between Washington and Tehran, which is, Trump says, a potential deal to halt the fighting could come soon. But for now, the region remains on a knife's edge. This is something that we are talking about. Why? Is because in the last 24 hours, the global economy has entered a danger zone, like we said. And we are now witnessing the largest disruption to oil supplies in the recent history, and markets are starting to crack, which is very, very important for us to know, because since the time the war in the Middle East has effectively closed the Strait of Hormuz, the passage for the fifth of the world's oil, Brent crude oil, has surged past $115 a barrel. Now, to put this in perspective, JP Morgan warns that if the strait remains closed for another month, we could be looking at $150 of oil per barrel. Now, this reminds me, and this takes me to the time when Iran did warn US that you can expect the oil prices to certainly reach up to $200, which seems so possible now. And this energy shock is now hitting the global economy, and not just US, not just Iran, not just the GCC countries. However, what we're looking at is, of course, a lot things of happening around the world, including India, Southeast Asia, Japan, you know, Thailand for that matter. So a lot of things are happening around the globe where you, and of course, everybody living around the world would be experiencing it as well. This energy shock is now hitting, like I said, the global economy. We saw massive sell-off in the Asia today. If we start from Japan, of course, Japan's Nikkei plunged over 4.5%, while South Korea's Kospi dropped more than 4%. The losses extend to Wall Street futures as well, with the S&P 500 suffering its fifth straight week of losses. But it's not just stocks. No, this crisis is hitting real world supply chains. The blockade has caused a 50% spike in urea prices, a key fertilizer, threatening global food supplies. Meanwhile, UK farmers are seeing gas bills rise 90% in just 1 month. Can you imagine that? So once the fertilizers and all these things will certainly stop, there is going to be no crop, no food supplies, and of course, food supplies will get impacted. This is something that we have to think about and make sure, like I have always said this in my previous videos as well, make sure that you have your food stock in your home for at least 1 year. Because when I see this, even if everything stops, even if the war stops, even if everything is just normal now, there is no attacks on any of the country, still the entire world would take at least 3 to 6 months to recover and come back. Now, that is the reason why I'm saying this year of 2026 and the starting of 2027 can be the year of hunger. And there are a lot of data to back that up. Imagine there is no food crop, there is no transportation, low supply, everything giving rise to inflation to an extent that we have never seen in our life. And that can happen. So make sure that to be safe, to safeguard yourself and your family, we have to do this. We have to take this step where we gather as much as stocks as possible, especially if you're living in this in the Southeast Asia part, which is majorly dependent on the oil coming in from these areas of GCC countries, which is very, very important. And for the people and for the countries wherein the population is too high, of course, the demands would be high and can face, a real threat to them. On the military front, I'm sorry, the war is widening. Like I said earlier, Yemen's Houthi rebels have officially joined the conflict, launching the missiles at Israel as well now. And the Pentagon is preparing of what I said. However, if you look at the targets that has happened with Kuwait, Lebanon, and Tehran, Pakistan is, of course, into it now, where it's trying to attempt to broker peace talks between the region. Now, however, nothing is started yet. So here's my conclusion to you: is the big story here is return of stagflation, slowing growth combined with rising inflation, if you know what I mean. We would be stopped with the growth and the development that we have seen in the past 50 odd years or so. That is just stagnant now. That has come to stop. And another thing that I want to bring to your notice is the internet cables, the fiber cables, which are under the ocean. It becomes a threat. Now, a lot of people must be thinking that if this thing happens, the entire world would go without internet. However, that just to let you know, it doesn't happen that way. That the entire world, because of course, if one part of the cable is, attacked, there would be rerouting. Technically, people would understand this who are from the technical background. That if there is a attack on the fiber cables, which is inside the ocean, if you go onto the internet, it will reroute, of course, from the cables which are working, right? However, you can see a lot of delay or lag. The internet would run very slow. And if you recently noticed, there was a call which really happened between the Indian Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, and Mr. Trump of US, and there was Elon Musk who joined the call as well. Now, this is just to understand, is because if you look at the Starlink of Elon Musk, which gives you the internet through the satellite directly, can certainly or is under pressure to make this happen on a large scale around the world, so that people are ready for it, which we are still not. So you can certainly see a lot of disruptions across the world for this. So this is one thing which I wanted to bring this to your notice. So you better be prepared with a lot of things that are happening around the world. Right. Central banks may be forced to hold rates higher for longer. It is a volatile week ahead. So please stay tuned, because the banking system, the currency system, the entire economy with the stocks and everything is right on stake, and you can see the crack that is happening. And if it cracks, then this is going to be a worldwide scenario of a lot of things that we have never ever seen, not even World War One, not even World War Two, or not even during the COVID that happened recently. So, people, my humble request is, be prepared. At least try and make your house stocked with the things which you might require. If it's no gas, nothing, you can still have barbecue. You know, it can become a norm more than a pleasure, because that is what is required as of now. You need to get onto the alternatives that you can, and be ready with it. I'm not saying that just start doing that, because that is going to be, however, be ready with it. Anytime anything happens, you know what you were supposed to do. But that's all I have for you. You have a wonderful day and the week. Stay tuned for a lot of weekly news and the updates on a daily basis. I will try to be upfront with everything that I come to know, and I will keep updating it to you. Thank you, and you have a wonderful day and the week and life as well. Be safe, and, well, just be there. Hold on. Patience would certainly be the key for you, along with the knowledge that can safeguard you. So keep yourself updated. Please like, share, and subscribe onto this channel as much as you can. That would be one support that I would need at this point in time. Thank you so much. You have a great day.